time though, isn't it? As well, having a walk, you've got no other clutter going on around you, and you just think about a lot of stuff. And you know, like you say, with the weather being hot and stuff, a lot of insects knocking about.
Right.
So I've just been watching them.
so while we've been filming, you've been watching insects.
Yeah, just seeing, because everybody knows insects are out there, but no one's keeping an eye on them.
What are they up to? What are you worried about?
Loads at Steve, you wouldn't be laughing like that if you'd watch them, because they do some weird stuff and that. Is what I mean.
What sort of stuff? Any examples?
I saw a bee have a heart attack.
You saw a bee have a heart attack.
Yeah.
How were you sure it was a heart attack?
Because what happened? I'd been.
Did it clutch its chest with all 6 legs?
No,
Were there some other little bee paramedics?
No, I'd just been out in the park anyway, just looking at caterpillars knocking about, butterflies and stuff. So I was sort of aware.
So when Suzanne goes to work, she goes, "Karl, don't you waste the day. I want you to do some constructive stuff."
But the thing is, so I'd been in the park and I was aware of the insects that are around us more than like most of the time. And I come out of the park, just crossing like sort of a busy road and what have you, and I saw this bee to the right of me, sort of in the air, and it was a big one, and I was a bit like, oh, let's watch that. And it just fell. It fell from the air in front of me, and it was on the pavement. And I thought, oh, what's going on here? And I looked at it for a bit, and it was really still. Gave it a little kick, just to see if there was any movement. Nothing. Stone sort of, what's the saying? Stone cold dead.
Yeah, stone cold bee dead.
So
yeah,
that
I like the fact that this bee suddenly saw Karl and had a heart attack.
Yeah,
it'd never seen anything that round before.
Yeah.
It just thought it had approached him because he thought it was a sunflower.
My God, it's a giant walking orange. Every dream has come true.
No, but it just summed up life for me. I thought that's like us, isn't it? At the end of the day, they have heart attacks, stress.
You put it down to stress, do you?
Well, it's in London, isn't it? You know, everything has stresses from living here.
And they are bald, aren't they? They've got fur all over, but they lose the...
And always overweight.
It was a fat, bald bee.
So what did you... It fell to the floor and you instantly... You just kicked it. You didn't attempt to revive it.
No, I waited a second and just looked at it to see if there was any, leg movement or wing. And there was nothing. And then when I sort of kicked it, it was sort of hard. It had hardened already. It's just...
Rigor mortis
had set in.
Did it put you in a bad mood for the day? Because I know things like that can just send you over the edge for the day.
Death and that does a bit. Suzanne doesn't like me talking about death.
Planned out. This is. I bet. Well, we read about this later in the diary.
So, and then I saw just like a little crumb moving. I was like, what's going on there?
Yeah.
So I looked down closer, and there's an insect that is see-through, but with legs, and just sort of running off with a crumb into like a little hole. And then when I looked, I noticed there was loads of these little see-through things. And they were obviously all like, oh, we got biscuit. And
that's exactly what they were saying.
We got
biscuits over here.
But I can't, that one was, like I say, it was amazing because they're miles away from what I'm about, and yet
Not that far.
but they still like a bit of biscuit, and it was just weird that happened. And that's what's nice, isn't it? That's what's nice about the nature of the world. We can invent iPods. We can bring out better vacuum cleaners, but at the end of the day, you can't make nature up. And to see this see-through thing eating a biscuit, that's where I've sort of gone this year. I'd say out of anything, I've sort of gone out of my way to learn more stuff about weird stuff that's out there.
I don't know what you've learned. You've learned that
a creature which you can't even identify or name.
You don't know, right? You don't know what it is, right? Looked like it nicked a bit of crumb. I don't know what knowledge is that. What is that? How is that useful?
Just because everything is changing.
But it's not useful. It's not useful to you, and it's not useful to anyone. You can't pass on that as knowledge because we don't know what it was,
but Karl
or where it happened, or why it happened.
But Rick, Karl thinks that the grub has an inkling, has a taste for McVitie's in the same way that Karl does. That's why he's from Meggs. He's thinking, I can't believe it. We both love hobnobs.
No, as opposed to just being taking the starch from the flour.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that these things have been around for years.
Yes.
Maybe longer than us.
Yes.
Right? Now, their life isn't changing in the way that ours have. They still live in a little crack in the wall.
Yeah.
But they're eating biscuit. And that was never meant to happen. An ant problem. in the garden. Suzanne said, we've got to get rid of these. And I said, well, it's a bit out of order. They are outside. And she said, yeah, but there's getting a lot of them. She went and popped the kettle on. I said, I can't handle this. I went in, right?
What? You didn't want to see the ants burn? That's sweet. You know, they're there.
Yeah, they might be causing a problem, but I don't want to see this mess. Now, the thing is, she went out. She poured the hot water on it. I left it a few minutes. I went out, I had a cup of tea. I thought, it's a waste of electrical line. So I took my cup of tea out there, and I'm sat there, and then I just saw one come back from wherever it had been. One ant. He looked devastated. Because that had been away. As far as that was concerned, it had been out to get a leaf or whatever. Came back, devastation. And it's that's the thing. It summed up death for me. That the ants that are dead, they didn't know anything. Suddenly they were there. Next minute, load of water, dead. It's the people who are still living in life that are the saddest, aren't they? After death. And that summed it up.
What do you think?
That ant would have been better off being there when it happened.
How could you tell the ant was...
What do you think? So you saw him...
I mean, they run around in circles anyway, don't they? But this was just kind of going, what's going on?
And what did it slow down when it got nearer the nest? Did it drop the leaf and then you see it run the last few inches?
It just kind of got close, and it was like a double take almost. Almost like it got near the hole, and then it was like, hang on a minute, this can't be it because no one's around. Then it walked on, and it went, oh, it is the hole. And it went back, and it just sort of stopped for a minute.
Ah.
And that for me, that's the sort of thoughts, things that you can look at as a human and appreciate it and understand it and go, yeah, that's true, that is like life. Instead of, oh, am I awake? Am I asleep or what? No. You might as well be asleep because you're doing nothing else.
Oh, God! Being a crab, if you could go now, your mind, into a crab, what would you see? Where would you be? What would you be doing? What would you be thinking? What would you think of all the other things, the crabs you'd see, the squids you'd see? What's it like, do you think? I want you to... It's like creative writing. Just think. Just let yourself go. Come on.
It's got to be a crab.
What do you think of a slug? What do you think to be a slug? What would you do if you were transported now into a slug? What would you do? And Suzanne, you're suddenly in the kitchen, but you're a slug, and Suzanne's sort of like there, just making tea and that. How do you let her know it's you?
It's impossible. I'd just chuck myself into the salt pot or something. No, because what do you do? I'd hate that. That would be horrible, that. Slug's always on its own. It's a lonely insect, isn't it?
It's not an insect.
All right, what is it?
A mollusk.
Right, they're lonely. I've never seen a load of snails all together or slugs wandering about, whereas beetles seem to knock about in crowds.
Yeah.
So, oh, God, okay. An unhatched egg of something, like maybe one of those, that a wasp was injected in a spider. So you know you're in an egg, right, which is really uncomfortable, in a spider. How would you feel about that, Karl? You're a baby wasp in the abdomen of a spider.
And I know everything that I know now. I'm sat in there.
Yeah. And now I'm in a spider as an unborn wasp. What the fuck am I doing here? What's going on?
I don't know what I'll do there. Probably try and sleep. There's nothing else to do, though, is there?
I just pray to God it never happens. Woke up at 9:55 a.m. Soon as I woke up, I looked at Suzanne and she looked at me. I said, did I tell you about the immune system? Suzanne started laughing. I said, it's amazing. She said, not now.
Oh, God! I was thinking that!
Springing into action, he zips up, his eyes are like... Did I tell you about the immune system? Oh, shut up, Karl. Put the kettle on.
Oh, God!